We didn't start here in the gallery. We actually started back in the Newark Symphony Hall, and before we actually got to use the collection here, we were learning how to manage fragile art pieces.
I helped organize and sort through a lot of the posters and also the magazines. I also had to create my own essays, making comparisons between Prince and nowadays artists to see how Prince has affected new generations artists.
One thing about this exhibit, especially for the students, is that even though we finished putting up all of the artwork and we set everything together and we're giving tours, the work wasn't exactly done. We were still allowed to come in and bring other people in and give them tours. Me personally, I was very proud of what we created here in the Prince exhibit. So I was often bringing in friends, and this exhibit wasn't just about Prince, it was also about the students and about expressing ourselves and how we decided to create and put our work forward.
I started to relate to him because we started getting into his personal life, which was his childhood, and I found out that he got kicked out the house because he wasn't as close to his dad. And I relate to that because I'm not close to my dad. And then I found out that he actually went through stuff. He wanted to take control of what was his, because since his whole life, people try to force him to be somebody that he didn't want to be.
I was able to learn, business. I was able to really get in touch with what it means to really work. A lot of programs will sit you down at a desk, give you a sheet of paper, and give you something to do. That's the bare minimum. It was work. It was hard work, but it was real. It was tangible. I built this exhibit. I learned about working with people. I learned how to manage myself.
Working with Mentor Newark has been very fun. I've met a lot of new people my age that I've been able to work with and get along with.
For me, the best part about it was all the lovely people you saw before me was brainstorming with them. I'm getting to share ideas, and I love it. And if I'm able to do that again, I would truly do it again.
Hi, my name's David Byard-Tyre. I'm the curator and community programmer for Mentor Newark. Had a wonderful time teaching these students about the process of developing an exhibit. At the same time, I learned what it meant to be both a professional and working for high school students. So just like they had a learning curve, I had a learning curve. I think one of the important things that I take from this is that the level of their imagination often extended beyond what I thought they were capable of. And once they had an understanding of this process, their vision clearly is reflected in what the final exhibit looks like. And I'm extremely proud of my co-curators. I'm hoping that this isn't just one project that we're doing, but that I have impressed upon them that I am a member of their extended family and here to help them in any future endeavor that I possibly can. At this moment, what I would like to do is pose a few questions to my co-curators about not only the process, but about themselves. I know a few of you have expressed to me that before you took part in this program that you probably wouldn't have been as open about your ideas, especially when talking to adults. Can you give me an example of, I guess, your level of confidence or a change in your level of confidence as a consequence of being in this project?
Okay, I would say my level of confidence has heightened throughout working here. I would say because usually when we're doing exhibit walkthroughs, we have to talk to random people. We have to talk to important people like board members and people that are trying to do funding. So when it comes to that, you have to have like articulate responses and know what you're talking about and understand what you're saying. And that takes a lot of confidence. And to compare to when I wasn't working here, my level of confidence with talking to other people or adults wasn't as skilled as it is now. And I'm glad that me working here has made it easier for me to talk to adults or people that are very important. Yeah.
I think that I've definitely grown more confident working in the exhibit, which I wasn't really expecting. Especially since, in the beginning period, the handing out flyers, the having to reach out to people, I got curved every 3 seconds. I would walk up to someone, they go, no. I'm like, it's not that serious. It's a piece of paper. And I was like, that's definitely got to be a shot to my self-esteem. But no, it's helped me be more resilient, I guess, because you're gonna meet people who aren't gonna like what you're gonna have to say, and they don't really like you, but so what? So I guess working here has made me more able to speak for myself, because so what if someone doesn't like what I have to say? I have to say it.
I would say I was already somewhat confident. I'm very involved with my teachers and, people at school, and I like taking leadership positions. But it's different when it comes to being in a place where it's public and it's open to people for them to walk in and you have no idea who they are and you're expected to speak for them and to know. It's not bad, but definitely had to work on that, and I'm good now, but it was because of being in here, and it was a process, so definitely different from what I did before.
Yeah, I think that, another question that I would like to pose to the students is that if you were to develop an exhibition on your own, what would that look like now that you have, a requisite knowledge in regards to what the process entails? What would an exhibit look like that you developed, and what would the subject matter be?
A project that I would like to put into place, or
any project,
for me, it would be like I said before, I always think about doing it. It's the Nook riot. I feel like that's something that our city that haven't covered yet. So I would get the residents or the ones who was put in, who was in that era or now, because us, we live through it every day, but we don't. We secondhand. So I would like the ones that was secondhand, the ones that was firsthand of the trauma, to come together and talk about it. Because, since I have experienced a little bit, but I'm not from that era or something like that, so it would be difficult, but I would love something like that to be put into place.
Yeah, if I was to do an exhibit, just speaking in general, from experience from this, I would make the exhibit more hands-on, cause when people came here and we were showing them the pictures, they looked dull and they was old. When you was showing them the pictures, they were like hurry up and move on. And then when we got to this part, the cheers and the videos, they faces started to light up. So if I was to do an exhibit, I would make stuff more interactive and more visual, videos instead of just pictures, for people to see and really understand emotions and etc. like that.
If I were to make my own exhibit, I would just make it on teenage mental health or mental health in general, because working here has really tapped into that part of my mind, and it really made me question, are you okay? Or sometimes I wouldn't have a good day, and I would come here, and I wouldn't be smiling. And then randomly, David will say something to me, and I'll just start laughing. And that would just make my day brighter. So I would just make an exhibit on mental health and how it's important to talk about it and not to talk about it. And to really just be there for people whose mental health isn't good of every day.
One thing that I would like to share is I think when you're in a role of leadership, it's often difficult to step away from the thing that you created. And I could say in the beginning, I was a little hesitant in being able to just turn this over to you. But probably within a week, you all have proven yourself to be more than competent, and everyone brought their own flavor, to this process. And even though I'm making a statement, I would like to pose to you in a question, how do you think you can take what you've learned from this space to maybe transform or to create something positive in someone else's life?
I would take what I've learned here is give it to someone and say, don't be afraid to be different. Like, don't be afraid to just go outside of your comfort zone and just talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to ride on a roller coaster every now and then. Don't be afraid to skydive or scuba dive or jump off a cliff with a parachute. Just don't be afraid to do something you've never done before.
I think that's something.
I totally agree with Delisha just said. I feel like that's one of the main parts of the problem of our generation is that we don't want to be different. We just want to kind of follow the trend. And I think that's really the main problem because no one wants to be them. No one wants to step out their comfort zone. Like Delisha said, nobody want to ride that roller coaster every now and then. And that's one of the ultimate problems for us,
Just adding on to both of them, I think from now on I'll be more ready to hand to other people the opportunities I get, because this was an opportunity, and a lot of people I know my age, they feel stuck up, and getting jobs is hard and this and that, but sometimes things show up and they make change, and I want others to have that experience, and not only me and not only my peers here right now. I want to spread it on and on to others.
I think that this question actually ties into the very first question that was asked about confidence. This exhibit, I wouldn't say gave me confidence. I would say it probably boosted my confidence. And I think that putting yourself out there as a whole could boost someone else's confidence as well, because I would just talk to some ladies and they're like, oh my gosh, you're adorable, you articulate so well, oh my days, and just compliment you and compliment you and compliment you. But I feel if you don't put yourself out there, you will not find those people who enjoy you for who you are as a person. And I think that this exhibit did help me find more people that enjoyed me, who I was as a person. And I would not have found this exhibit and found these more people if I hadn't put myself out there in the first place and came looking to do something along the lines of what this was.
I know the focus of this exhibition was Prince, and I have expressed this, a number of times, that the purpose of this had little really to do with Prince. The purpose of this process was all about you. In thinking about spaces in your community, or thinking about institutions in your community that are supposed to serve you, I want you to take a minute and I guess ponder, how could the places that you presently frequently visit, be more effective in, I guess, elevating or even boosting the things that you have gained from this particular process. So I'm asking you this as a two-part question. Name a space that you frequent that could do a better job in giving you what you've gained here. Does that make sense? So I'm actually pass the mic this way because I'm asking this question to everyone.
I don't really go nowhere like that, but the place I do go is school, and my school is horrible. Like, it's so ghetto, and I feel like everybody, like arts and stuff, like basically schools that's open, because I'll go to a charter school. Schools that's open, they get more freedom. My school, we just sit in a building all day. We don't go on field trips. We don't get driver's ed. Some classes I have, because I've been in high math classes all my life, and I'm a sophomore, and I do junior classes, and some of my classes we don't have teachers, and we just sit there doing nothing. And it's like, I be thinking to myself, I'll be like, well, when I get older, I'm not gonna know nothing, because my class, like, we don't do nothing in school. So I feel like being here gave me more freedom and more like opportunities, and I feel like my school should really start thinking about the children, and we should start doing more stuff. Like, we need to learn to drive, make businesses, and do work in classes. Yeah, that's it.
A place I frequent a lot, like more than a lot, is the internet. Social media, Instagram, TikTok. They need to be way more different. They're still stuck on some things that happened in the past, and they bring them back up, and that could be traumatizing for some people that look at the internet. And the internet, it's a nice place. Certain places you go to, like some parts of Instagram are nice and some parts of TikTok are amazing, but sometimes you can get stuck on the bad parts, and that can affect your mood and everything you go through. Like, you can have a bad day, and then you see something on the internet, makes it even more worse, and now you don't want to do anything or put yourself out there because you're so scared of what people would say or what people would think. You just need to not do that, and they need to fix themselves. And
I hate to interrupt, but the relationship of the internet to this particular space. So are you saying that you need real spaces where you can meet real people, or I'm trying to
go outside the internet. Go outside to, like, here and meet us and talk to us and learn something you never knew. Just get outside of the mold of the internet and everything else, because you can find some pretty amazing things.
A place where I am often there is actually Branchbrook Park by my house, and I feel that Branchbrook Park, it's often having a festival or a celebration for the Puerto Ricans or the Dominicans, and I think when we do have these celebrations and such at Branchbrook Park, there will often be stands for example, there's a glass blowing place on, I believe, Halsey Street, which I didn't know about until I'm here at Branchbrook Park. And when you're at these festivals, it's very easy to just meet new people and see all of these opportunities that are coming arise. I signed up for a library card like 2 weeks ago at Branchbrook Park, and I think that specifically, just going outside and seeing what's around in your neighborhood is a really good way to see what opportunities are around you. Yeah.
A place that I'm mostly at is my school, Central High School. I don't know if many of you have been there, but if you go there, if you walk in the door, stuff like that. My favorite spot in the building is the atrium, and so like here at the exhibit, sometimes like me, I'm a person that I pace. It's like how I clear my mind. And when I was here a lot, definitely times like in the summer, I ain't feel like being bothered, and it was so open up. So I would walk away and pace back and forth, and that's something I do at Central, like after school, because the atrium is so big. It has the we have the catwalk, the balcony, all that stuff, the flags of college choices, and that's something. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
The question is being critical of a place that you frequent. How can it create some of the same, I guess, feelings or connections that you made here? How can you project? I want you to talk about how this experience can be created in those.
Okay, so definitely. So in my school, in the atrium, it's really like it's like an art place. So like sometimes like I wish we have like more student artwork in the atrium placed on like the art stands, stuff like that. But not even that. I feel as though like throughout the city, because like we're a music city, down to the house music, to the club music. I know they do a lot of house music festivals, but it's not really. I feel like they should do more festivals for children to go out and dance to, because I feel like that's something that could stop the violence and that's occurring in our city. More, more music. That's music been helping generations and generations to get past struggles and stuff like that. So if we spend more time with the youth, more, I feel like that's gonna fix it.
A space that I am like mostly in is my school, but specifically my freshman art teacher's class, Mr. Richardson. I would say when it comes to comparing the exhibit to Mr. Richardson's art class, it's very similar in the way that there's a lot of art, there's a lot of color. This space is very like, how do I say, it has its own like self-expression. And when it comes to my art teacher and his art class, that also has a lot of self-expression, as well with Mr. Richardson's funny jokes and him helping me as a person and learning who I am as a person, and how do I say, just making me feel comfortable in that space, and yeah.
A place I frequent, I guess, other than school, I don't really get out much, but when I do, I like to go to libraries. Just like there's books, there's knowledge, there's so many things around, and I feel like, well, first of all, a lot of libraries get underfunded, because people don't visit them. But I've noticed, especially working here, that despite funding or public interest, there's an effort that's made by those with the authority to do so. And I guess in my case, I want to have the authority to do so. I want to be able to help places that need it. And I guess what I've learned and what I could take out into the world is that if I notice that there's something I don't like, I can change it. I can always change it. I have the power to do so. And if I don't, I can get the power to do so.
Can go. A place I'm in every single day is school, and I know the rest talked about it, but I feel like I should. In the gallery, we're just a team of high schoolers, and we made it happen, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in school, and I wish adults would also take us seriously so that we could get more things done, such as, fundraising and school events. Some things happened recently, and it was just, staff just takes us for just kids, and, they don't really give us as much relevance as I wish they did, and I believe that if it were to happen, we could definitely get things done. Like we worked out on this exhibit, and it's all up now, and it's history.
I'm extremely proud of all of you. And Mr. Owens, who is the director of Mentor North, often says that, you know, we're a little nuts. And that, I heard that. And that our goal is always to replace ourselves. And I think in each of you, I have found something that I find, you know, admirable, encouraging, and inspirational. And I can see in some way all of you replacing me, and, you know, even amplifying the things that I have taught you. And it's a great feeling to have. It's a great feeling to be around people that you say, oh, I can walk away and know it's going to be taken care of. So thank you for the opportunity to work for you.